Hello again. All right, so I just did a rasgueado Spanish finger kick 2.0 edition, and now I'd like to do the right hand finger playing, or the playing hand edition 2.0. Now I said right hand because I play right-handed. Ironically, I'm left-handed, but for some reason this just feels right. And it did from the beginning. Now, if you are left-handed, you are using your left hand to do the playing hand. That's what we're talking about right now. So we're going to do finger playing with our playing hand. And this is a little different than Spanish finger kick, but also the same. So if you think about your Spanish finger kick, you have this wonderful motion out and a wonderful motion through. I talked about this in the first motion, and I just kind of jumped into it for 2.0. But for this one, what I'd like to highlight is, so you have this Spanish finger kick motion that we were working on, which helps create this wonderful balance between extensors and flexors. So again, being all the way in your fingertips and just kind of centering yourself on your mat, and you've got your sleeve so you can move and your guitar support. We're going to be doing finger playing, which is really like a one-string finger kick. So I'm just doing a rasgueado with one finger, and it could be apoyado. But then eventually move to free, or al aire, where I'm just going like this. And do this little experiment. You can play around with focusing on this and letting your fingers kind of be dead weights from that joint, or being all the way in your fingertips and moving. Notice how much faster that looks. I can see it. It feels slower. It's a funny paradox, but record yourself. So be all the way in your fingertip and watch it go out and through, all the way through, and you'll be surprised how long you can do this. Okay, so one string finger kick, one string rasgueado, all of a sudden will turn into finger playing if you just focus on the through, which is through towards your elbow. Or some people like to think about up, although I'd like to point out that you're actually pushing the string into the guitar. The geometry dictates that this arc pushes the string into the instrument, which creates the louder noise. Okay, so here we are doing one string playing with the ring finger. You can also do with the pinky. I often skip this one. Maybe I should. But here I am starting with the ring. And getting different sounds. And just following any rhythm I want. What it could be language like Lumix, Panasonic, Zoom. You know, I'm just saying whatever label I see. It's not meant to be an endorsement, but you get the idea. Now let's go like this. Let's go to a different string. I like the moving across the instrument so it moves with us. There's an important concept of leverage that comes from movement, which I'll talk about in the next sliding video. Now you notice all of a sudden I'm moving from string to string with one finger. This is a great way to practice in alignment with the string. Also notice I'm creating arpeggios where I'm going, creating a melody with the open strings while playing a pedal on the first string with the same finger. This is what we do in playing. Our fingers have to be so delicate that they just respond to our thought. So I just try to create as many situations where I just do what I think. Now I'm surprised that I went to the 5th string. I was hoping for the 4th. I'm not worried though, because actually I went further than I thought. This means I'm loosening up. Anytime you overshoot, just think, oh, wow, I'm overachieving. I get to do less. Anytime you undershoot, just think, you know what, just relax. Just go with this. Let go. Follow the motion. Now you can do the same arpeggio with a G pedal. the same thing with middle finger. Getting different noises. Something else I like to play with. Creating dynamics around the pedal. Then coming down to the pedal. And also doing asymmetrical rhythms. 5 and 2. So I'm missing the string that I was hoping to get. And what I notice is that I'm thinking very much about talking to you instead of talking from me. Starting with me, letting the sound come out. Sometimes we try to jump out to our audience instead of actually just letting the sound do the work for us. Now I'm going to do the other arpeggio, where with just my middle finger, I'm just playing around with it. Now let's do the same thing with the index. Also do rest stroke in this. I've been doing free stroke, but really when I'm getting warmed up or letting myself warm up, I switch between free stroke, and rest stroke all the time. A little dyslexia there. You can also do like when you get into the arpeggio. Stroke for the pedal, rest stroke for the arpeggio. Again, only with one string, one finger on each string. So that's why you're seeing all the movement in the arm. This is a concept developed from Targa, who in his cross-string practicing was really talking about moving arm from string to string. David Russell, one time I heard talk about this in a master class, as well as in his book of, I believe it's 215 tips that someone arranged of all his master classes. It helps to create this fundamental movement from just doing this, but connecting it all the way to ourselves, to the ground. So one more time, I'm going to do the same with free stroke. Cool. Now, remember how in the Spanish finger kick 2.0 I had pairs? I'm going to do the same concept here, only the pairs are going the same direction. So I'm going to take alternating ring and middle. And what I'm going to start with is just on one string, ring, and then just switch to middle. Doing rest stroke, switching between them until I start alternating. Now you're noticing that I'm very fluid with this. I do this every day, and I've done it this way for years. But you may not feel that comfortable in that first, and that's fine. You don't need to go fast. In fact, I tend to gain more when I slow down. Which, again, I'm noticing I'm trying to reach out to you because it's you want to connect. The best way to connect is connect with ourselves and then notice the sound projecting. I heard Pepe Romero talk about this in a master class once, and it took me forever to understand what he was really saying. But he was saying you have to center here to hear the sound emanate. This is how we learn to play with freedom, to play without letting the fear overtake us, because we're present with it from the beginning, and then the sound carries us out to the audience. We don't have to jump out to them to win them. So I'm switching, and this is where I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Alternating. Adding a little rest stroke sometimes. Going to free stroke. I added something, that's okay. Just notice. going to do the same arpeggio thing where one finger plays the pedal and the other the melody. So my ring is playing the first string and my middle is playing all the others. Now I'm going to switch. I'm going to add some rest stroke. Finger is now playing the G pedal. Ring is playing all the other notes. The melody. Now, ring finger is playing the pedal. So I'm missing a couple notes. I'm going to slow down. Okay, now I'm going to do ring and index. So that everything I was doing was just with those two fingers. Now, ring, index, just alternating. Repeating one, going to the other, then alternating. I'm going to do rest stroke from the beginning this time. Free stroke as well. I like to have the thumb as kind of a reminder, but it can be kind of squeaky, so also let go of the thumb when you're comfortable. But having the thumb on a non-squeaky string helps too. Now I'm going to do the 5 with 2 on a pedal, 5 on the next, and this allows me to have start on one finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's I, where you have I, M, A, right? I, A, 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 I, A, I, A, I, A. So the pedal, the first time is played with A, and the second time I, if you start with I. This is all alternating. Adding rest stroke this time. Now I'm going to do the arpeggio, where the pedal is being played by the ring. Hit a different string, just notice and see what it takes to steer you back. You may have to steer your whole self back to the moment, which I'm doing right now. And I do that by coming back to my breath. And the sound, the movement, this moment. Fingertips leading my arm into action, leading myself, and myself being there to support those fingertips, leading me through space, much like my head leads myself through space. I kind of refer to this in class sometimes like the tips of our fingers are the head of the arm dragon, where the tail goes all the way down to our feet eventually. Okay, let's do middle and index now. Without all the explanation, you can do this much faster. This video is going to be a little bit longer, just to show you all the permutations. permutations. Can you get some rest stroke? I love creating direction and dynamics, as well as tone. How nasty can you get? How bright yet round can you get? Can you hear instruments? Like oftentimes this is compared to a clarinet. Trumpet down here. I just switched now. First I did the pedal with the middle finger, then I switched to the pedal with the index. You can review that and see that I really did do that. And you'll notice every once in a while I just have to check in with myself. Now, one last thing is the thumb. There's a reason why I'm starting with this side of the hand first, and it's because that is our mechanical advantage. It comes out of the forearm, as I heard Cameron O'Connor describe it, and it's absolutely true. This is the bone around which our radius rotates. In turn, meaning our mechanical advantage is determined by our pinky and where it's at in space. If you view your pinky as this odd appendage that doesn't belong, I have to tell you, most of your lifting is done with your pinky and ring finger. These lift too, of course, but those are the lifters, these are the steerers. Now, do they all lift? Yeah. Do they all kind of steer? Yeah, I mean, you want this to move, otherwise every time you rotate it, you'd be ripping your arm off. So it moves. But the things that move less have more mechanical advantage. And they're only strong if they get that advantage. These can move and adjust. So that's why I like to come back to the thumb. And so now I'm letting my fingers kind of be a guide up and down the first string. Doing rest stroke. And all I think about is just letting my thumb tip move kind of like past my finger. I just let go of my fingers and I create a pedal on the first string, pedal on the third. If you wonder why is it always first and third, it's to save my nails so they don't get too worn out by playing the wound strings. Okay, there you go. That is my right hand playing, or really playing hand Focus 2.0, where you have a lot of variations there. And you can add that in conjunction with a variety of right hand arpeggio practice, such as targas, as I mentioned, the cross string practicing. Or you can also include Giuliani. You could also include Carlavaro. That's a great book. Book 2 has all these wonderful finger patterns in there. And again, I just take out the left hand and just allow myself to focus here so that I have this wonderful base that's connected to the floor, connected to my movement. Because if you notice, I'm moving the whole time, also dialing in to my pelvis, my sit bones. Okay, I think that's plenty for this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.